to get started right off the bat. We've got a lot of things going on and give us enough time to make our way through some of the ideas we're going to share today. Nice to see each of you. The session is being recorded. I think you know that. I'm going to let some people in if they come on the back side. It's nice to see each of you. My name is Julie Wright. I'm looking forward to sharing some ideas with you. I want to invite you, as always, to put ideas in the chat if something sparks your idea that you have, something you'd like to share. We all get smarter when we do that. So don't hesitate. No ideas are bad ones. So just go ahead and go ahead and share if you'd like. I'd love to hear what you have to say, especially after the session when I get a chance to go back and reflect. My name is Julie Wright, and I'm going to talk a little bit about reimagining RtI, MTSS practices and ways that we can inform decision making. You are going to have access to all of these slides. So if you just want to grab a little notepad and take some jots, that would be great. On the back side, you'll get, there are going to be two different ways you can access these materials. It'll be on the page that's part of the conference. They'll be added to my page, as well as I believe they're going to email you, since you attended this session, the slides, so that you can have access to them. And then, of course, if there's anything that you need extra thinking around, my email is at the bottom of this page. Don't hesitate to email me. I'd be glad to carry on the conversation after this session. So without that, if you get a chance, you're welcome. If you're interested in seeing who's in this room today with us, if you haven't interacted with everyone before, you're welcome to put who you are and where you're from. I would love to see that as it goes. We're not going to linger there, but it's always nice to know what people's role is, where you're zooming in from, just to get an idea of who's where and what people do. I'd love to see that as well. As you know, I was going to stick the slides in the chat, but it's not working quite right today. I think there's something clunky going on with Zoom, so we'll do those on the back side. One of the things that we're going to really focus on is this idea that, meeting all the kids' needs in a learning community is super complicated business. It's not an easy task by any means. That's because the decision making that we make, it's dynamic and it's multifaceted. And so I always, as I work with teachers, I'm often an instructional coach leading professional learning. I'm an educational consultant, so I travel around to different districts, and we're working on things to work to meet the needs of kids. And it's a diverse process, and it's really dynamic. And so there really isn't a one size fits all. And so when we think of our work together, I think it's important to name how complicated it is. We don't live in a machine model. It's really hard when we do, because often machine model is not what kids need. And so for us to really honor the fact that kids are unique, and our work should be unique as well, to remind everyone that we work with that the work is super important, and it is very multifaceted. We're going to think through the idea of being responsive, but in the ways of using lots of different data. The scheduled numerical type, similar to maybe numbers on a spreadsheet, and then the in the moment, authentic student work and the interactions with kids type of data to create these responsive plans. I work in a lot of districts, and the first thing I ask for is, what kind of data do you collect? And so often, because we're trying to do the best we can for kids, a lot of that data lives in like spreadsheets. And while I think that numerical data is super important, I think it only tells one part of the story. I think it's when we put the numerical type and the anecdotal type together that we get the best process for kids. That is complicated. It takes time, but it's well worth it, I think, as we start to make those responses for kids. I do want to mention that this type of a session, sometimes I work with districts in like a whole week institute or 2 full days. We're getting like a little snippet of some of the work that I'm doing. And so I want you to think, if she's going fast, yeah, I'm going to go fast today. And if there are topics that are of interest to you, just know that I'm grabbing some of those ideas from this book that's on the screen. I have some resources on my website that might help you. You don't necessarily have to buy the book. There are some resources out there. But if you're interested, think about these 5 buckets, about ways to